What's up guys, I am here on the beautiful island of Malta in the Mediterranean. Today I am heading back to London Heathrow with Air Malta in business class on board an Airbus A320. I'm here at the Lavallette lounge at Malta, which is actually really nice. It's one of the few lounges I've been to that has an outdoor viewing terrace, which is fantastic. Just look at the views that you get across the apron from here. So I'm going to head inside, check out the lounge and then head down to the gate to get my flight up to Heathrow with Air Malta in business class on board the Airbus A320. I was actually really impressed by the Lavallette lounge here at Malta Airport. It's situated just above the departure lounge, but it's really nice, really modern and spacious, and that outdoor viewing terrace is absolutely incredible. Business class passengers are entitled to use this lounge, but you can also get in using Priority Pass if you're flying in economy. Priority Pass is a great service that I use that gets you access to over 1,200 airport lounges all around the world just for an annual fee. Check out the link in the description below and you get 10% off any membership with Priority Pass. Once I'd finished in the lounge, I headed down to the gate where my flight was getting ready to depart. First, however, there was just a quick passport check before we made our way into the non-Schengen gates here at Malta. Thank you very much. Of course, business class gets you priority boarding at most airports around the world, but in this case, priority boarding just meant that we got on the bus first before anybody else, and it was still a mad scramble to get on the flight when we actually got out there. I was a little bit disappointed with this, to be honest. I've been to some airports before where business class passengers and priority passengers get their own bus before everybody else, but in this case it was just a free-for-all. And here is our ride over to the UK today. It's a 12-year-old Airbus A320, originally delivered brand new to Air Malta in 2007. It's been with them ever since, apart from a short period where it was leased to Etihad Airways of Abu Dhabi. We scrambled our way up the jet bridge with everybody else. Considering there's only a few rows of business class on this flight, you can see how many other passengers have beat me to it.
Hello, good morning. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
The business class cabin on this aircraft wasn't too bad. The seats were pretty comfortable, but it was showing its age a little bit. I did like that Air Malta have some nice pictures from the island of Malta at the front of the cabin. In common with most European airlines, business class with Air Malta is simply a standard row with the middle seat blocked out, but as you can see they have this convertible middle seat that turns into a little drinks tray for you. Thank you. Before we got underway, the cabin crew came round with some pre-departure drinks and some local newspapers. At this point the weather in Malta turned decidedly rainy and we started our engines and taxied out to the runway here at Malta Airport. After takeoff we got some fantastic views across the entire island of Malta. This is the extent of the entire country. It's one of the smallest countries in the world, but it is absolutely beautiful. As we climb out from this beautiful island paradise, let's take a little look at our route over to London today. Our flight today took us northwest over the island of Sicily of Italy, Sardinia and Corsica, overhead Monaco, and then the length of France, passing Paris, across the English Channel, and then into London Heathrow. Flight time today was 2 hours and 58 minutes at a cruising altitude of 38,000 feet. I was looking forward to see what the food was like on Air Malta. They overhauled their entire menu last year and now offer a buy on board service in economy, and up front you get a nice choice of local foods. The cabin crew came round with some hot towels just after takeoff. It wasn't long until the food service started, and actually I was pretty impressed. This is the starter. It was turkey ham, a nice little bit of salad on the side, and some beautiful bread. The main course was a Maltese omelette, which was really nice at this time of day. I love the presentation of this meal as well. It's very authentic and very Maltese. Dessert was a choice of several different options, but I opted for the strawberry yoghurt. This is the first time I've ever actually seen the island of Corsica from the air, but the mountains here looked absolutely stunning. I was really surprised to see snow-capped peaks in a Mediterranean island. It definitely looks like somewhere that I have to visit really soon. It looks amazing from the air. The Air Malta Business Class cabin is really comfortable. The seats are a little bit old and showing their age a little bit, but actually they're really comfortable, and the old-fashioned kind of leather seats that you got a few years ago in business class on most airlines. There is an airshow map displayed at the front of the cabin as well, which is quite handy to check on your progress of your flight as you're heading up towards the UK. Air Malta is quite a unique airline in my opinion. They operate a lot of holiday flights to the island of Malta from the UK and all across Europe. Although they're a national airline, many of their flights are for the leisure market. And you can see Air Malta aircraft flying into airports all over Europe in the summer. It was quite interesting to see their business class product though. The Air Malta in-flight magazine is called Il Bizila. It was quite interesting inside, but I headed straight for the back pages as most aviation geeks would. Air Malta's route network covers most of Europe. They operate a fleet of Airbus A319s and A320s and have been going for about 45 years. There's a nice piece in the in-flight magazine about the history of Air Malta and the aircraft that they have operated over the years. I remember seeing their 737s heading into my local airport at East Midlands way back in the late 1990s, and I know they've been going a lot longer than that. Back in the 70s they even operated Boeing 707s, which is one of those aircraft that I never got to fly on but I really wish I had. I remember my grandparents first talking to me about their holidays to Malta back in the 1980s and how they'd flown on Air Malta over there. So it was quite interesting to see what the airline looked like back then. Pretty soon we commenced our approach into London Heathrow.
Onboard. Grazie. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall shortly be landing in London. You are kindly...
The captain informed us that we'd have a little bit of a holding pattern before we came in, which is quite usual for Heathrow at this time of day. Descending through the clouds, we arrived into a murky day here down at London Heathrow. So how much did my little ride on Air Malta cost me this morning? Well, to be honest, it was part of a longer flight that I was taking from Malta to Los Angeles via London Heathrow. My onward connection was on Virgin Atlantic, but I managed to get a really good business class fare, which worked out at just £144 for this flight. In business class I was able to credit 1,962 miles to my Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer account. The reason I could do this is because the flight was booked with Virgin Atlantic, who are a Singapore Airlines partner. We touched down on schedule on runway 9 left here at Heathrow Airport on this really murky spring morning. Air Malta used Terminal 4 here at London Heathrow, which is about the furthest you can get from the end of runway 9 left. This meant that we got to see some really wonderful aircraft as we taxied across the airport, past Terminal 2 and down into Terminal 4. I'll be flying with Ethiopian later on this year and I'm really looking forward to trying out their product. After a pretty lengthy taxi, we taxied onto stand 415 here at Terminal 4 at Heathrow. Thank you, bye-bye. Yes. The e-passport gates were all out of order today, so I just had to go to a standard passport gate to get my passport checked and enter me into the UK before I connected across to Terminal 3 for my onward flight. So back here once again at Heathrow Airport, Terminal 4 in London, albeit for a very short period of time. I've got a few hours here before I head over to the States from Terminal 3 on my next connecting flight. I hope you've enjoyed today's video with Air Malta in business class on board the Airbus A320. If you'd like to see that flight in full length, you can do by becoming a supporter, either on Patreon or via the Facebook page. You also get a whole range of other benefits, including earlier video access as well, so it's well worth checking out if that's what you'd like to do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time here on In-Flight Video.